Hello, I'm back. Okay, so this is part two of relationship discussion. Okay, so if we do a recap, last time we talked about 6 levels of relationships or 6 possible levels of engagement that occur in a relationship. And these 6 levels touched on were sending out the message to the universe, you're ready for that permanent relationship, and you get no hits. The second level is that you do get a hit, you're shortlisted, but you have no idea that you're being shortlisted because you never get called anyway. The third level is when you actually get, a date, whatever the connection leads to a phone call, phone exchange, and you go on a date. In the date, nothing happens, no chemistry, no call. That also happens. The other level is where you go for the interview, you go for the date, you're loving each other, and one of you loves the other more than the other, and nothing happens again, or you get another date and then it frizzles off. Then finally you get a hit where you go for the date, you start dating for a while, and then you realize, wait a minute, this is not what I want. The relationship is not panning out as is. Then you walk away. That's the other level. And then you get the beautiful one, which is level where you hit it off, you go for the interview, and before you know it, you're just so into each other and you love each other. And so what we're trying to do is to get to that level 6. And the myth we were dispelling from last message was that relationships are an achievement. Well, that's what I think. So I'll start with saying that it is an achievement, and so we all want to get to a point where we are in a relationship that's steady, that's going. So there are various barriers that result in us not meeting or not going forward to level number 6. Now, these barriers that I want to talk about is that first and foremost, timing is so important. And when we're referring to timing, we're talking about the right moment. So you could meet your soulmate. Say, for example, you meet them when you're 15 and you hit it off and you love each other and you're always talking to each other. You're writing each other emails or whatever, texting. In our days, we used to write letters. So, but the point is you're both, you're not yet ready. The time is not yet right. You will find that in that situation, it's an issue of having the circumstances are not yet permitting for a mature relationship. Now, you could be 30, 35, 36, or you could be 25, and you've met this person, and all these, you're hitting it off, and the timing is just not right. So what do you do in that situation? What I do suggest is that you do step away from that relationship. You give it time. Time heals, time reveals a lot of things, and time can bring things together. Now, unfortunately for a lot of us, we are not as disciplined to be able to walk away from something when it feels so good and it feels so right. But you will find that in some cases the universe, because of the contracts, okay, this is all based on teachings that talk about before you came on earth, you made certain contracts with certain people, contracts such as relationships, how you're going to relate with each other, with someone, and at what point would you meet, and what it is that you're going to be giving. But if you're disciplined to understanding that the time is not right and you walk away from it, and you ask your soul or the universe, the creator, to say, this thing is so perfect, the only thing that's lacking is that there is no maturity for it to go to the next level. What is it that we can do? What can I do to get it to there? Again, I would want to emphasize the point that this level can only be done individually. Both parties have to do this individually. You cannot imagine or think that you could do it with that person in your relationship. If you attempt to do that and you prolong the separation and you continue with that relationship when the time is not right, you will be forcing a lot of things. And this is where we have situations where people date for 6, 7, even 8 years, and the relationship does not materialize to anything. Why? Because that continual staying together becomes a distraction. You all start to destroy each other's souls instead of coming together. And as you're destroying each other's souls, that connection that's supposed to happen like a jigsaw puzzle, it starts to wear off. And you find situations where you've dated someone for 6 years and you have a breakup, and within 3 months they're connected to somebody else and they're married to that person, and you leave. You feel your heart so broken. I want to emphasize the point that none of us are responsible or capable enough to bring or to raise the next party to the level through which you would be hoping to get that person, because of the fact that life responsibility lies on the individual themselves. So I could meet someone today and we could be perfect for each other. The timing is not yet right and I stay there. Whereas if I break off, I have exercised what we call resistance. So when I break off from that relationship and I start to exercise resistance, this is looking, introspecting. What is it that is making this relationship not yet ready? So if you're dating a guy and he's trying to set up a business and he's not yet at that point where he is capable of being in a relationship with you, you're better off breaking it off. By doing that, you are sending out a message to the universe that, one, you have absolute faith that you are meant to be together. Two, you are allowing the universe to come in and to start to do the processes and the work that's necessary in order for you to be together at the right time. So when you separate, what most likely happens is that with faith, and if you do it voluntary, if you volunteer to break off a relationship, it's so perfect. It feels so good. You guys are always together and you break it off because you can see that the timing is not right. What will happen is that you will accelerate the process for that relationship to get to the right point. So, it doesn't you should not think, don't think that he's not yet ready, we're not yet ready, we don't have enough resources, let's move in together, let's work on it, let's do it together. What you will find is that you will move in together and you will hate each other and you would have wasted your time. Because it's not the right thing. And basically what will happen is that whilst you're still with that person and you're not believing the universe or the creator or the light force to perfect that situation for you, you are giving off the rights for you to be qualifying for that position or that relationship with that person. So as you're giving off these rights, somebody else is earning those rights. So that next person, maybe your best friend, maybe, his ex-girlfriend or your ex-boyfriend, someone out there in the universe, because there is matter. The universe has matter. Nothing disappears. All this energy needs to be put together in some space, So as you're sticking into that relationship and you know that this thing is not working and you're staying there, you are losing out. And when that breakup happens and that person, be it a girl, be it the man, whoever, leaves the relationship, someone has earned that relationship. And guess what? Within 3 months, within days, that person will connect with somebody else and they will marry. And this becomes a very painful experience. It's so painful. It can get you stuck for a long time. I'm by nature a person who would take, for the number of years or months I'll be in that relationship, it's the number of months or years it will take me to get over a relationship. Now, that's not a good idea for someone like me to be in that situation. But a lot of us take those kind of risks, and those are necessary risks. Your soul, listen to your soul. The first day, first week, first month of being with that person, what was your soul saying to you? And you need to listen to that soul. Don't listen to what everybody else is saying. Oh, wow, it's not about the money, it's not about progress, it's not about, the instant you leave him or she leaves you, you're going to lose the person. That's not true. The opposite actually happens. Now, if you are going to invest in the belief that what is yours and it will come back, you will find that the instant you walk away, the faster you walk away, the sooner it comes back to you. And that's a very difficult principle. And so the barrier for us in that area is the inability or the choice not to listen to the soul. That becomes our hurdle. And also when you choose not to listen to your soul, you're also going to be working, you're putting in the work in a relationship for that person to be with someone else, and that's not going to be you, and that's even more hurtful. The other barriers to us securing our mates has a lot to do with materialism. So when I mean materialism, what am I talking about? Okay, in fact, materialism is very limited. We're talking about when one engages their external senses. Okay, so yeah, for example, you could be just completely fascinated with a particular race. You could say, well, I think Indian is hot. I'd rather, no matter what it takes, I'll find myself an Indian person. So putting such restrictions to your search for your soulmate is extremely dangerous. Again, you will find that your soulmate could be in a black man or a black woman, or it could be in a Caucasian person. So because of those barriers, those limitations that you've put, you fail to see anything else. The other thing that is a barrier to us meeting is when you destroy your soul. So when you engage in certain activities that are soul destroying, you completely lose your chance to meet your mate. Now, I'm going to talk about this. I could get into trouble. Some businesses may go out of business, but it's true. One of the things that destroys your soul is watching people, groups, or having sex. Yes, pornography. Pornography is really bad for your soul. It enters into your being and it corrupts every single thing that you have. So why is it such a hectic thing to watch? In fact, to watch is even equally as dangerous as participating. So what happens? Your eyes are looking into this act. And what happens is that your soul begins to get engaged. And when your heart reacts. And when your heart reacts, the rest of your body starts to react. As these reactions are happening, they are the gates to your soul. And these gates are opening up. And what they're doing is also engaging into, they start to enter into the act that is happening. Now, these could be like, whatever the porn movie is all about.